Climb the mountain. That's all he said, before he vanished. 3 months later, the ocean came. Thousands died. His name? 2062. A man who claimed to be from the future. He warned Japan. Twice he was right. Now he's back. And he's warning us about 2025. Who is the time traveler from 2062? He called himself 2062. He said he came from the future. He didn't speak on camera. He didn't use his real name. Instead, he left short, strange messages on a Japanese message board called 2-channel. The first message appeared in November 2010. He wrote that he had traveled back in time for an important mission. He said he couldn't share too much, or he'd risk changing the future, but he warned people to climb the mountain and to stay alert. Most thought it was a joke, but 5 months later, on March 11th, 2011, Japan was hit by one of the deadliest disasters in modern history, the 9.0 magnitude earthquake and tsunami that became known as 3/11. People went back to his messages. They started paying attention. 2062 returned in July 2011. He answered questions from curious users. Someone asked, "What food will disappear in the future?" He said, "Seafood, because the oceans will be poisoned." He warned of more disasters to come. He said Japan almost didn't survive. And when asked who would lead Asia in the future, he replied, "China is gone. Most of Asia becomes India." He vanished again. But he left behind one final clue. "I will return in April 2016. Something serious will happen." And once again, he was right. The earthquake that changed everything. March 11th, 2011. A date that would scar Japan forever. At 2:46 p.m., the ground began to shake. It was a magnitude 9.0 earthquake, the strongest ever recorded in Japan. But the shaking was just the beginning. Minutes later, a massive tsunami crashed into the coast. Waves reached up to 40 meters high. They swept away entire towns, cars, and lives. More than 18,000 people lost their lives. Thousands more went missing. Over 120,000 buildings were destroyed. In the chaos, another disaster unfolded. The Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant was hit. The tsunami disabled its cooling systems. 3 reactors melted down, releasing radioactive material. The damage was immense. The economic cost was estimated at $360 billion, the most expensive natural disaster in history. But amidst the devastation, a chilling realization emerged. Someone had warned about this. Months before the disaster, a mysterious figure known only as 2062 had posted a cryptic message: "Climb the mountain." At the time, it was dismissed, but now it seemed like a dire warning. People began to revisit his messages. They started to wonder, who was 2062, and what else had he predicted? The return of 2062. It was July 2011 when the mysterious figure known as 2062 returned. He had vanished after the devastating earthquake, leaving behind only cryptic messages. But now he was back, posting once again on 2-channel, the popular Japanese forum. His return raised more questions than answers. How could someone from the future appear out of nowhere? And why had he waited so long to return? But one thing was clear. 2062 had a message. The first post was subtle. He didn't come right out and say why he was back. Instead, he posted a simple, eerie message. "I will return in 2016. Something big will happen. Prepare." He didn't elaborate. He didn't say what that something was. But the message was clear. Something was coming. But what could it be? Could it be another natural disaster? A man-made catastrophe? Or something entirely different, something that had yet to be imagined? Despite the chilling warnings, many still doubted his claims. Was he really from the future? Or was he just another person playing an elaborate prank on the masses? However, those who had paid attention to his previous message couldn't ignore the unsettling accuracy of his predictions. The 3/11 earthquake, the tsunami, the nuclear disaster at Fukushima, all of it had come true. This time his words seemed even more cryptic. The world seemed on edge after the devastation of 2011, and as the year 2016 approached, people began to wonder, could his warning be real? What was coming? He didn't say much in his second round of posts, but his warnings became harder to ignore. Some users on the forum even began to speculate on his identity. Was he truly a time traveler? Or was he some kind of messenger sent from a hidden group who knew what was to come? What was clear was that 2062 had predicted two of the most devastating events in modern history. And if he was right, what could be next? As 2016 approached, the mystery deepened. What would happen next? What would this big event be? And more importantly, what did 2062 know that the rest of the world didn't? One final cryptic post came in early April 2016. April 14th, 2016. Be ready. And then, as quickly as he had appeared, he vanished again. The forum buzzed with speculation, but no one could be sure of what was to come. As we delve deeper into this chilling mystery, one thing becomes clear. There's something far greater at play here. This isn't just about a single warning or event. It's a series of cryptic messages and chilling prophecies that have sparked the imagination of many. And we, here at Grave Truths, share a common purpose: to uncover the truths behind these unsolved mysteries. We're not just here to share stories. We're on a quest together to dig deeper, uncover hidden truths, and seek out the answers. And that's where you come in. Join us as a member of Grave Truths, because your voice matters. Share your thoughts, theories, and even your own eerie experiences in the comments below. I'll be reading every one of them, and who knows, I may even feature your story in one of our future videos. Let's explore these mysteries together, uncover what's hidden, and face the unknown as a community. This is Grave Truths, where the closer we look, the darker and more intriguing it gets. The 2025 prophecy. It was in the quiet hours of the night that 2062 returned once more. But this time his message wasn't a cryptic warning about earthquakes or disasters. This time he spoke of a future so dark, so foreboding, that it shook even the most skeptical of his followers. It was 2016, and he had only just made his prediction about the April earthquake. But now, in a chilling twist, he began to speak about something much larger. He didn't reveal his true intentions right away. Instead, he started with a simple post on the forum, just as he had done before. The world will change in 2025. It's already in motion. And when the time comes, humanity will face its reckoning. At first, the statement seemed almost abstract, just another vague prophecy. But as more users joined the thread and discussed his words, the reality of his prediction began to set in. He wasn't just warning about the typical dangers humanity faced. This was something else. This wasn't just another natural disaster or political collapse. This was something far greater. According to him, 2025 marked the beginning of a global transformation, a series of catastrophic events that would forever alter the course of history. It was a warning unlike any other. He didn't say exactly what would trigger it, but his messages were clear. 2025 is a turning point, he said. You will feel it in your bones. Those who ignore the signs will be the first to fall. But what was it? Was it an impending war? A financial collapse? A technological disaster? Or was there something more terrifying looming on the horizon? Some of his followers tried to decipher his words, but the prophecy was vague and eerie. He said that 2025 would be a year when humanity's darkest fears would come to life. Nations would crumble, the earth itself would show signs of decay, and people would begin to see the true nature of the world they lived in, its flaws, its darkness. What's even more unsettling was that he didn't just speak of disasters. He spoke of the collapse of the social order, the shifting of power, the fall of once powerful nations, and the rise of new unrecognized forces. According to 2062, humanity would face a reckoning with its past mistakes, and this time there would be no turning back. He didn't just predict an event, he predicted a complete unraveling of civilization. Those who had built their lives around systems of power would find themselves powerless in the face of this new world. Prepare for what's to come, he warned in his final message. Not everything is as it seems. By 2025, you'll understand. And when you do, it will be too late. For years, these words echoed in the minds of those who had followed his messages. His followers, still loyal but anxious, began to watch the world closely. Every political shift, every economic downturn, every natural disaster, each seemed to fit into the dark vision he had painted for them. The warnings of 2062, although vague, appeared to be taking shape. But what could they expect by 2025? Were these prophecies based on truth? Or was he simply trying to create a self-fulfilling prophecy? No one could be sure. But there was no doubt. The closer 2025 drew, the more the world seemed to move toward the events he had warned about. And as the clock ticked closer, people began to ask themselves, what will this year bring? Are we ready for what's to come? His warnings weren't just whispers in the wind anymore. They were becoming real. And in the back of everyone's mind, one question remained. Is it too late to stop the inevitable? Interpretations of the 2025 warning. As the year 2025 looms closer, many have tried to decode the cryptic messages left behind by 2062. What exactly did he mean when he said the world would face its reckoning? The internet has been flooded with theories, ranging from global catastrophes to societal upheaval. Some believe he was simply trying to spark fear, while others are convinced that his prophecy is grounded in truth. One of the most common interpretations revolves around environmental collapse. His warnings about the Earth decaying and the signs of a crumbling world have led many to speculate that climate change will hit its tipping point by 2025. The floods, wildfires, and intense storms we've seen in recent years could be just the beginning of a much larger crisis. Some believe that his message hints at even worse environmental disasters that will fundamentally alter how humanity survives on this planet. Others focus on the political chaos that he hinted at. The rise of new unrecognized powers and the fall of established governments seem to be a central theme in his messages. Could we be witnessing the breakdown of global political systems? The polarization between nations, the growing tension in areas like the South China Sea, and the instability caused by rising populism are seen by some as signs that 2062's prophecy could come true. A global power shift could spell the end of the old order and lead to new alliances or even open conflict. Some people interpret the social collapse as a result of technological advancements. His message speaks of humanity's reckoning with its past mistakes. Could this refer to the unchecked rise of AI surveillance and the erosion of privacy? With technological dependence growing by the day, some fear that 2025 will be the year society confronts its reliance on these systems, leading to an inevitable breakdown. Finally, there are those who take a more metaphysical approach to his words. Perhaps the reckoning is spiritual. Many of his followers believe that his warnings go beyond the physical world and point toward a deep moral awakening. Could 2025 be the year when humanity is forced to confront its ethical failings, from environmental destruction to inequality and injustice? In this view, 2062's prophecy is a call for change, urging humanity to look within and repair the damage done before it's too late. As the clock ticks down, one thing is certain: no one really knows what the future holds. 2062's warnings remain open to interpretation, and the world waits in uncertainty. But with each passing day, it becomes harder to ignore the eerie sense that something monumental is approaching. So, is 2062 real, or a digital myth? As the years pass, the mystery of 2062 only deepens. Is he truly a time traveler from the future, or is he nothing more than a well-crafted digital myth? The evidence surrounding him is murky, leaving many to wonder whether he is a real person or an elaborate hoax designed to manipulate the masses. For some, the most compelling argument for his legitimacy is his accuracy. The 3/11 earthquake and the Kumamoto earthquake were predicted in his early messages, years before they occurred. His cryptic warnings about climate change and societal collapse have proven eerily prescient, giving him an almost prophetic status in the eyes of many. But could these predictions simply be a lucky guess, or is there more at play? One theory suggests that 2062 might not be a time traveler at all, but rather a skilled digital creator. Some believe that the messages posted by him on 2channel were the work of a hacker or an anonymous individual, playing with the concept of future knowledge. Could he be a product of this digital age, with the message of a so-called time traveler being nothing more than an artifice? Another theory proposes that his story may have been deliberately crafted to spark fear and curiosity. As the world faces increasing uncertainty, whether from climate change, political instability, or social unrest, the idea of a prophetic warning from the future is both thrilling and unsettling. The digital age thrives on sensationalism, and a mysterious figure like 2062 can easily capture the public's imagination. So is 2062 real, or just another digital myth? The truth may never be fully uncovered, but the questions remain. As we count down to 2025, the question remains: what about the Japanese Baba Vanga, who also predicted major events for the same year? Could they all be right or wrong? Check out the video on the Japanese Baba Vanga in the link below. Let's keep the conversation going. Drop your thoughts and mysterious stories in the comments.